Breaking news as Nolan Wilson, a four-star defensive lineman, has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is another monumental pickup. Drop a thumbs up inside the comment box. You know, it's been amazing to see this recruiting class take shape. The last couple days we've had some offensive players jump on board, monumental pieces. I mean, Cedarian Morgan, as I said, is a crown jewel. And people keep asking about who's next on the defensive side. Well, you get someone very notable today, four-star, highly rated four-star, who has committed to the Crimson Tide. And I think this is a really big pickup for many different reasons. Number one, I feel, and I've said this, if you watched my shows, I feel that recruiting defensive linemen is the toughest position in college football along with offensive tackle. It just is. I mean, these guys are going to go off the board early to major programs. These guys can demand a lot of money because they don't make defensive linemen like this, okay? So bringing in Nolan Wilson at 6'4", 260 pounds, I'm going to play his highlights in a minute. One thing that you're going to see when you look at the scouting report is he's the explosiveness of him. He's wonderful off the ball, very explosive. He's got really good length, really uses his hands well. And I think when you talk about upside, this guy has upside, and I'm not talking like a developmental player. I'm talking somebody who has upside that he's probably going to be a high first-round pick in the NFL draft when all said and done. And I know he's still in high school, but once you see his film, you'll know what I'm talking about. I think he'll contribute early with Alabama's defensive line. You look to Alabama's defensive line right now, there's a lot of up-and-comers that you're going to see this season, but I think Alabama certainly has room to add people in early in the class of 2026. So really big pickup for Coach Kalen, DeBoer, Courtney Morgan. And another name before I go to the highlights is, I want to ask you about this, is Freddie Roach. Look, I think Freddie Roach has done a really great job at Alabama. I don't know. Sometimes there's a lot of people that say he can't recruit, he can't close down stuff. I don't know where that's coming from because honestly, I think he's doing a pretty damn good job. So hats off to Freddie Roach in terms of bringing in a defensive lineman, Nolan Wilson. Let's look at the tape. And I want to hear from you on the scale of 1 to 10. What is your excitement level? I'll go full screen here so you guys can see the highlights of Nolan Wilson. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your excitement about him? Maybe you need a little bit more time. Maybe you need to watch the highlights. You know, I think when you look at him, I think he is a critical piece to this class. Here he is disrupting the quarterback right here, causing a fumble. I'm telling you, this is a really big pickup. I mean, you can look at some of the offensive pickups that they've had. You know, as I mentioned, Cedarian Morgan. You talk about Xavier Crowell. I'm serious. This guy is a monster. He is a menace on defense. So I think this is a really critical pickup. And I'm going to show you a graphic in just a second that shows you this class. And I don't know how many 5-stars that Alabama. Oh my goodness, this dude is ferocious. Did you see this? Well, okay, watch this. I don't know how many 5-stars that Alabama is going to end up with. 5, 6. Oh my God, this dude's going to play. This dude is going to play early. Okay, this guy is so disruptive. I kind of think when the dust settles that this guy's going to be a 5-star. I really do. He's a highly rated 4-star already. So if, in the past, Coach Saban, he put together 7 5-stars in 2017, 2023. Coach Kalen DeBoer, he could have 7 5-stars when all is said and done, and maybe some players get re-ranked, and Nolan Wilson could be one of those guys that moves from 4-star. Look at his hand usage right there. Fights off that tackle and then just gets right to the quarterback. No chance in stopping somebody like this. So, again, for me, this is a 10 out of 10 pickup. And this isn't a gas up. This isn't trying to say that everybody that Alabama gets is great. But, man, I'm telling you, the last couple days, the last 10, 12 days, whatever it's been, the guys that they are bringing in are absolutely quality, high quality, all right? So bringing in Nolan Wilson, this is a gigantic get for the staff, for the class. Really love to see it. And I think overall, when we start, I'll show a couple graphics here coming up. When you start to look at the defensive players, right, man, they're putting together some guys on the defensive side that have the athleticism and that have a lot of length. We talked about the length in the secondary, right? But, man, they're loading up on defense too. I know sometimes you get caught up in talking about offense because, they score touchdowns or whatever. But, man, you ain't doing anything if you don't have a quality defense. And if you don't have athletes on the defensive side, this guy is extremely athletic. You look at him. You look at Xavier Griffin, right? You look at Jordan Edmonds. I mean, just look at right here some of these guys that have committed on, even the defensive side. Zay Hall. I get it. People are going to be like, oh, my goodness, the guy's a 3-star. You seen this guy play? He's 6'2", 230 pounds, running like a 4.4 at camp, at Alabama's camp. Xavier Griffin, that guy is a heat seeker, right? Today we're at Nolan Wilson. You just saw his highlight tape. And then tomorrow, if they can get Jaira Edwards, the 5-star safety out of Maryland, I mean, these are the type of guys that they're bringing in, along with the guys that they already had committed, right? So I think when you look overall to Alabama's recruiting class, they're doing a wonderful job recruiting these guys. Here's that graphic that I was talking about. This is going to be one hell of a class. I want to hear from you inside the comment box, because I know we have to talk about Tank Jones here at the bottom right. And I don't think, and I want to say this, I don't think if you get Nolan Wilson today, right, you get Nolan Wilson, I don't think that means you're not going to get Tank Jones, okay? You could get both of them. That's how serious this class is going to be. So let's just start right here on the far right. Actually, I'll go full screen so you can see the graphic I'm talking about. This is 2017. I'll read them out real quick. Najee Harris, Alex Otherwood, Dylan Moses, Jerry Jeudy, LeBron Ray, Jedrick Wills. This is 2023. Keon Keeley, Caleb Down, Caden Proctor, Des Ricks, James Smith, Yanzi Pierre, Quay Rusa. And this is 2026 so far. Jordan Edmonds already committed. Xavier Griffin committed. Xavier Crowell committed. Cedarian Morgan committed. Jaira Edwards, who announces on the 5th. He's an Alabama lean. I don't know what's going to happen with Tank Jones. From what I understand, it's between Oregon, Texas A&M, and Alabama. I mean, those are some absolutely heavy hitters. I'm surprised to not see Texas Tech in there. And you're like, Texas Tech? Well, yeah, Texas Tech has a billionaire who's behind the scenes. But I think along this, you're like, okay, well, this would be 6. As I just mentioned, I think Nolan Wilson could be a guy who maybe is a 5-star. So really big pickup, and things are going absolutely so well at Alabama. So as you're having barbecue, you're having potato salad, your wings, just remember, life is good. You live in an amazing country, and it could be far worse. I think we even have to update this graphic, because I think Auburn could be worse than 79. I don't know what the hell's going on down at the barn, but my goodness, if, it could be very, very bad, but it's not bad in Tuscaloosa, because it continues to rain stars, right? 4 stars, 5 stars. The summer rain continues. This is one gigantic pickup. Nolan Wilson coming in. This is a big one, and I hope that you guys take time to go follow him on a social media account. Hype this dude up, because he is absolutely bringing it. I want to hear your comments inside the comment box talking about this recruiting class. What is your excitement level about the class? Do you think they'll get Jaira Edwards? Who's next after Jaira Edwards? What other defensive targets would you like to see added to the class of 2026? My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Happy 4th of July. Thank you to all the United States veterans or the military that is currently serving. We understand that freedom is not free. That's why I fly a flag outside of my house every single day. We appreciate your service. Thank you so much. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on 4th of July, 2025. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam.